You still sleeping? It's 10:30, buddy. It's gonna ruin our seats. Welcome back. We are live. Thank you guys for joining me on this beautiful Saturday night. It is gorgeous outside. The sun was in the wrong position to be streaming outside, but yeah, it shouldn't be inside. How are you guys? Captain Cringe. Yeah, a little intro of my dog. Our dog, the lively one. Annoying at times, fun at others. But I just threw something up there, just something different from the normal Amish one. Right now he's begging to get back here into the room I'm in. So today we're gonna talk about Amish football. And yeah, no, not joking. Amish youth in Indiana have a football league. They play football. It's cool. I got to go watch them last night. So yeah, we're just gonna hop right into that. I think. Make sure everything's going good here. Everything sounds good. Let me know if it doesn't, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so my brother he plays for an Amish football league, mostly just Amish kids, or kids who have Amish roots, I guess. But they have a 4-team league that plays 9-man football. So I'm guessing 20, 30 players on a team. Probably close to 30 players per team, but 9 on the field. And well, I'll just show you guys a video right now. Maybe I'll show it in a little bit too. But here is a video of some clips here. So anyway, yeah, that's it. I might show it again when there's more people viewing. But yeah, it's like a high school football league, you know. So they play at an Amish youth park. I'm not going to say where it's at publicly. I don't want people showing up there randomly because it's kind of designated for Amish youth. But my sister-in-law's dad provided the land and he got this together, put up the youth park, got it started. There was a lot of opposition against him doing that. It's so weird. And I don't know why. You know, he's got 2 baseball diamonds on there, some indoor basketball courts, volleyball courts, outdoor sand volleyball courts, and a football field. And but yeah, there was opposition. I think there was other Amish people jealous that maybe they didn't have the idea or the funds to start something like that. Um, but he got it going, and it's a hit. Weekends, man, it's filled with tournaments, softball tournaments, volleyball tournaments, basketball tournaments, and now football. And you know they have a concession stand there and everything, and to just have people that come and run it, you know, make a little bit of extra money on the weekends. But and it's funny now, the people, or according to some people that I've talked to, that the people who were opposing this guy starting this park now have built their own in Shipshewana. So they're doing the very same thing. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how that works. Amish people, once again, are not perfect. They are like anybody else. But yeah, I remember, I don't know how long ago it was, it was probably back, I don't know how long ago, it was 10, 15 years ago. My cousin, who's my age, he wanted to play football, and he pressed hard, and he's a persistent guy, but he got it done. He got an Amish football league started. And I think back then they might have had 6 teams, but he got the owner of the park, the guy who running the park, to build them a football field. And they only had room for like an 80-yard field, so it's not a full field now. They were fine with it back then, but now they're kind of wishing it was a full 100 yards, and I wish it was. I think they'd be capable of it. You know, when I watched that first couple games that first year, it was hard to watch because it was really kind of amateurish. There's just a lot of run plays, a lot of pass plays weren't very effective, lots of missed tackles and stuff like that. But now, 10, 12 years later, watching, these guys are getting it together. They're organized. They had the plays that I showed weren't the best plays of the game. I just happened to have my camera out. And they've got they're making spectacular, like NFL style one-handed catches and diving catches, and it's crazy. It's crazy what these kids are doing. It's awesome, you know. But yeah, it's just with time and experience, you pass on the knowledge that you have about the game, and then you know the next generation just takes it and then learns more. So it'll probably just keep improving, but it was fun to watch, especially since I had a brother on the red team who ended up winning 35-28. But yeah, you can't really see in the videos, but here, let me just show it again. But there are a ton of Amish people sitting around that field. Like it's as popular as a high school football game, if not more people. You know, and a lot of them are youth. It's a lot of youth that run around with cars, or youth that don't have the cars with buggies, doesn't matter. They hang out, they come watch the game and hang out, buy concessions. And there's married people who come. My dad went, and they watched my brother play. My brother is defensive end from 96. Kind of didn't do his job right there. But, so yeah, you can see it on the left side. Yeah. But yeah, my dad watched, and there's other married people who show up with their kids, and they're high-fiving everybody. They just come, they enjoy it. Amish going to football games. It's crazy, but that's just where we're at here in this northern Indiana community. It is a great community. Am I live? There is nobody watching, huh? No chats. 8 people. Interesting. Maybe I gotta share this on Facebook. Hang on, guys. So, and everybody's probably busy, which is fine. They can watch it later. But let's turn my volume down. Hang on, just bear with me, guys. Just a second. Just a second. We'll get this. Let me get this shared to Facebook, if I can. maybe this doesn't interest you guys. If you have other questions, just ask them in the chat and I'll answer them. So post it. There we go. Okay, we'll see what happens. Yeah, so yeah, they played four 15-minute quarters. They you know, obviously have a halftime. They don't have any cheerleaders or halftime show. It'd be kind of interesting getting cheerleaders in. I don't know, that might be taking it too far for the Amish community. But yeah, so they're getting it down. Like they're doing a lot of pass plays and stuff like that. They even now have a drone up in the sky, just sitting there the whole game, and so they can go back and review footage to see what they did right and what they did wrong. And, you know, it's crazy. This is coming from an Amish community. You know, it's the youth. It's not the actual Amish parents, but they're moving along, and I think it's really cool. I might have to go watch some more. I stopped watching NFL because the players just became a sissy fest. I mean, those guys are getting paid big bucks, and they do nothing but complain and take political sides, and instead of just doing their job. But so it is. So what was I going to say? So, oh, that's it. Yeah, I just found it shocking that there was so many people that showed up. You know, but yeah, I mean, if you don't have a TV or whatever, it's kind of fun to go watch the kids play, the youth play, and I don't think as many people watch softball. Maybe. I don't know, though. A lot of times those go all night long. Yeah, no, I don't think there's an Amish sport that I've ever watched that's been watched as much as the football. And people were kind of opposed. They weren't sure when that first was introduced into this Amish community. People weren't sure about it because of injuries and being full contact sport. And I'm sure these guys, these players, you know, they all have jobs. So if they get injured, I'm sure they're not going all in, you know, no holes barred, because they got jobs. They break an ankle, they break a wrist, whatever. They can't work. So it's not like high school maybe, where those players, you know, I mean, if they break a leg, they can still go to school. But yeah, they were pretty good, pretty awesome, pretty awesome to watch. I think there's 3 more games coming. Yeah, 1 more regular season game, and then they have the 2 playoff weekends. There's only 4 teams, so the Super Bowl, Amish Super Bowl, will be. Hey Annie, the Amish Super Bowl will be. There'll be 1 playoff weekend game for each team, and then there's the Super Bowl because there's only 4. And hopefully my brother gets in. That would be exciting because yeah, they're doing pretty good. There's 1 team that's got a better record than them, but otherwise they've beat them and lost to them, but they're pretty good. So it's just cool to see because like here's my brother. Let me show. Yeah, I mean they're in full uniform and everything. Why is that picture not showing? That's weird. No, it's full, you know, professional uniform and everything. Kind of jealous. I wish I was younger. I wish I could do it. That's Mark, number 96, defensive end. I think he does pretty good from what I've seen. He had quite a few tackles. He's a starter anyway. So, are you able to see all the people watching the chat? I can't, Daniel. No. I can see how many. So right now there's 18 watching, but I can't see how many people. I can't see who is watching, which is fine, unless you guys comment. Maybe there's a way. I don't know how. But I don't know what else to talk about, to be honest, unless you guys have questions. But I've been enjoying Peter Santinelli. What is his name? I don't know. His videos down with Titus, man. That's crazy. Oh, what do I have? Oh, okay. Yeah, if you guys haven't been watching old Titus down in Kentucky, dresses like an Amish guy, and lives like an Amish guy, but isn't Amish. So many people could do that. It's so easy. Just get rid of a bunch of stuff. But he's really sharing the gospel and stuff like that. And Peter's not a believer, and it's kind of interesting watching that interaction. And if Peter isn't careful, he's going to get saved. Old Titus, man, he's a character. He's awesome. You just can't help but love him just by watching him. If you guys haven't checked that out, go watch that. Oh, Daniel. So you watch him. Peter's got a great YouTube channel, for sure. But yeah, I just posted another video tonight. It wasn't necessarily on Titus, but it was on the communities down in that area, the Mennonites and the Amish. Yeah, Peter seems to enjoy taking time with the Amish. Yeah, he does seem to. Maybe I gotta call him up here, but I don't know. I don't know that he would have any more information to share. But I could take him around the area. But yeah. Anyway, so I have the questions on my. I was gonna do more, maybe answer some more questions that I got, but it's on the phone. That's the camera right now. So I don't know how to get those. I don't know how to get in there. Yeah, I can't. It's right. Sorry, guys, yawning. I just ate a pound of hamburger. Give me some questions. Thanks for commenting, Daniel. By the way, if anyone feels like helping Amish Rescue Mission, we're putting up signs. These are not as cheap as you might think, and but any donations help put more of these up in the areas that need them. Yeah, and it just notifies the little kids. It shows them that being touched in the wrong places is wrong, and that they have somebody they can call and that they need to go help. So yeah, if you prayerfully consider donating to Amish Rescue Mission, I forgot to put the link in the description box below, but you can, on my other live videos, it should be under there. The link should be under all my videos. After I'm done going live here, I will put the link in the description box. I just forgot. So was that you and Elmer Koblenz asked, was that you in comments on his video that says Peter might end up Amish? Nope, that wasn't me. But me and a guy at church were talking, and we were like, yeah, it's exciting. It's kind of, if he doesn't watch out, he's going to end up becoming a believer. So we'll see. I don't know how you can, it was very amazing because Titus shares his faith freely. And then him and Peter hitchhiked to Nashville to share, he could share the gospel in Nashville. Well, one of the people that picked him up was another believer. So, and Peter was in the front filming him. And it's just, and he started, asking him all his questions about his beliefs and all that stuff. And it matches, like it just like anybody else who's a believer, a born again Christian, born again believer. I don't like using the name Christian anymore because so many people use it and just muddies it. But he's asking this guy driving him the same things, and he's answering them. He's mirroring what Titus had said already in previous videos, or what Titus had told Peter. And you would think that Peter should be starting to connect the dots. Like, what is going on here? That these people, I ask them about their belief and their faith and stuff like that, and they're matching. It's matching up. They have the same. Yeah, it's. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, we'll see. I think God has to move within Peter first, somehow, however that works. I'm not sure. Probably shouldn't do that on a live stream. Living on a dime. I thought the same thing. Peter's spreading the gospel without realizing. Yeah, no kidding. I didn't think of it that way. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. He is spreading the gospel without realizing it. He is. You know, one thing that really bugs me though is how do you? He keeps asking about religion. So you're religious, or so you're, and people say, no, I'm not religious, and then he's confused because they'll start talking about their beliefs, and it is how, you know, you can't really see the truth of Jesus Christ until you're born again, until you're, you know, like you have to be saved in order to understand. But how do you how do you show these unbelievers that the religion, like I'm talking religion, I'm like false, like Catholic religion, Mormon religion, Amish religion, Jehovah's Witness, all that stuff. You know, they all call themselves Christians, but then we have the believers, the true church, who aren't. They're because of their relationship with Christ. It's not because they're tied to like an earthly organization. Where am I going? They call themselves Christians as well. So, but they'll say, well, no, we're not religious. The believers will say, well, we're not religious, and it just confuses like people like Peter. Like, how do you separate, you know, the religion part of the relationship? Like, how do you get unbelievers to understand that? Because Peter keeps asking about it. He just doesn't quite get it. You know, and he probably won't until he's born again. But I wish there was an easy way to show them that no, Catholics, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, a lot of the Amish, some of the Mennonites, and all these different groups are religions. They're not actually Christian by definition. So, yeah, versus truly born again people. And if you're born again, if you're a born again person, if you're a true believer, a follower of the way, you can pick other ones out. You don't have to talk long before you can start picking up signs of who else is born again and going to be in the kingdom together with us. You know, I walked into a store and somebody asked me how I was doing, one of the employees at Cabela's, and I, you know, just, oh, I'm doing good. How are you? Like, better than I deserve. And I just looked at him like, believer, huh? And he was like, yep, you must be too. I'm like, yep, you know, just by that little term, better than I deserve. Because I've only heard real Christians say that. So how do we separate? Like, I don't even call myself Christian anymore because too many other people do that aren't. So how do we separate that? Let me catch up here. Does your congregation, Daryl asked, does your congregation do the Lord's Supper the first day of the week, every week? We do it the first Sunday of the month. Once a month, first Sunday of the month is when we do it. Do the take communion. Living on a dime to grow, the way you act toward others is how you show them. That's it. Powerful, very powerful. Yeah, and further down, and then you say he does get it. He sees a difference in Titus. Exactly. I'm just hoping he starts connecting dots because Titus is I mean, we only see the video side of him, right? Obviously, behind these cameras, we all have lives that aren't cheery and happy. But yeah, so, but Titus seems to be just a glowing example of a born again person, and it's awesome. His passion for sharing the gospel I'm envious of it. And so that's $100,000 question. Yeah, it's not that, you know, I wish we could beat it into people's heads so they get it, because they benefit from it. You know, from being born again, from being saved. But I think God has to draw them too. So we plant the seeds. God does God does the watering. Or we plant the seeds, God does the growing. So just the fact that we don't curse makes us stand out. Yep, clean language. He will connect the dots. I think he already is. That's awesome. That would be awesome. Wouldn't that be awesome? Can you imagine someone as powerful as Peter Satinelli sharing, or not sharing, but he gets millions of views, and somebody that big transforming in front of the world, becoming saved, changing in front of the world and sharing his experience. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I think it'd be amazing to see. So we don't communion on the first Sunday of the month and benevolent Sunday the last Sunday of the month. I'm not sure what benevolent is, but yeah, we do communion on the first Sunday of the month and benevolent Sunday the last Sunday. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, that's interesting. Living on a dime to grow rich says just pray for him to have his eyes open. Yep, that's a good reminder. Let's be praying for Peter. It'd be amazing. What's funny is I have his newest video open and was watching it when you showed up. Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, did you see the football part of it? I don't know how many people are here now. Maybe I'll show that the Amish youth playing football. I think it's the only community with a football league, which was started. Yeah, there's 15, 20 more people here. So my cousin was one of the big guys pushing for an Amish football league. Growing up after church, everything was basketball, and it was probably heavily influenced by our local high schools. Westview Warriors they don't even have the Westview High School doesn't even have a football team. They're soccer, baseball, and the big thing is basketball. Northridge, they have a football team, but they have basketball. Fairfield, I think they have a football team, but basketball was always big when I was growing up. Like, it was huge. We played basketball every time we got together with cousins and stuff. If there was a basketball rim, a court, we would play. We played in a lot of barns, these old cool barns. Heavily influenced by the high school basketball team, which got state twice when I was like 16 to 17. And that was huge because this is a little country school with small that went and got state. That, out of they played some big schools, some big guys, some big, the city kids, the athletic ones. And they beat them, and it was crazy. But it was just, the scrappy barnyard basketball was, there was something to it. But yeah, every Sunday after church, we would play basketball. Well, so it was funny. Now, we never played football. But then when the Indianapolis got good with Peyton Manning coming in, the kids started picking up on this. Obviously, Indianapolis Colts start doing good here in Indiana. People start seeing it in the newspaper pretty soon. There's a lot of hype around Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts going to playoffs all the time and stuff like that. And the kids started playing football after church and all that stuff. So yeah, anyway, but the league, my cousin helped start, I don't know, 12 years ago or so. They were really not that great. They had fun. That was what it was all about, was just having fun. I think there was 4 or 6 teams the first year, 6 the second maybe, I don't know. But a lot of run plays, not a lot of passing, just not as organized. But now I went and watched them last night, and it was kind of impressive. The plays that I got on video aren't really that impressive, but there was some like NFL style one-handed catches and, toe tapping on the sidelines and all that stuff, and there was a couple big hit tackles that was awesome. It was rather fun to watch. I'd be kind of curious what they would do against if they played one of the local high school teams, like how that would compare. These guys would have a few years of age on them, because I think the league is like 18 to 21 is the age bracket they have to be in. But yeah, let's watch some of these plays. And notice how packed. Like you can't really see the people around it. There's people. Just the whole thing is packed with people. So my brother is number 96. I don't know if you can see him. He'd be on the right side defensive end. He's wearing one red shoe and one white shoe. So there you can see him on the left. Referees, that's an Amish referee. I grew up with him. I'm not sure. But anyway, one of the referees was my age. We grew up playing a lot of basketball together. Evidently, he just never went back to being Amish. And yeah, he was always big in sports, and he still is, apparently. But yeah, it's crazy how many people. There was a lot of people back behind us. I don't know why we sat in the end zone. The stands were full. They chairs everywhere. Mostly youth. Most of them are Amish youth. It's a youth park. And then, but there was some parents there too watching the kids. Like I took my dad with me. Dad watched them. I wish I would have gotten more video, but I kind of felt odd to shoot video because people were noticing the videos. That's the Amish potato. But yeah, they have a drone sitting up in the sky, taping everything so they can go back and watch video, watch the replays, all that stuff, see what they did right, see what they did wrong. But it was just cool to watch. I was gonna say, I can't remember now. Anyway, yeah, we'll move on from that. Titus said in one video that some hybrid plants are terminal. Really wonder how he knows that without having things that he claims not having. There are other things. I don't know what hybrid plants I know what hybrid plant. What does terminal mean as far as hybrid plants? I'll have to expound. 8th grade education here, Elmer. Would you ever plan on taking some time to help Titus on building his church? For sure. I thought about. Depends on how I am financially, but I thought about running down there. Why not? I would love to meet the guy. Honestly, like I wouldn't mind interviewing him myself, but because it seems like Peter kind of, I don't know if he just doesn't understand it enough or doesn't want too much of it on his videos, shies away from the religious part of it, and I think Titus has a great message to share. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell what conversations they have behind the camera. Like he's there with them all day or 2 or 3 days, whatever it is. And not everything they're talking about is shown on film. So you can get these hats at the Amish Potato Company.com. They are not Amish made. However, these belts are. If you want a belt, go to the Amish Potato Company.com. There's another one, the Crazy Horse, my favorite color looking belt. Get a nice tag. Or dog collars. These are made. That's a nice dog collar, Crazy Horse. These leather collars, I will never buy. Yeah, they are nice belts. Thank you, Living on a Dime. Tara, I gotta remember that. It's Tara's easier than Living on a Dime to grow rich. But yeah, these belts are leather. I would never get nylon again because the nylon belts, just the hair gets stuck in it. They kind of get dirty. And these leather belts, they look nice and new now, but the dog will scratch them. Any leather belt you get, Tara, yeah. Yeah, it is easier. Right, there we go. But yeah, the dogs will scratch them. They're not going to stay new looking, but they stay clean looking. They won't have hair stuck to them everywhere. They just stay clean looking. These are solid brass hardware. It's not cheap hardware. Could have put cheaper on, but the look this look is just fantastic. Plus you have the link. Yep, I wish I had. It's the AmishPotatoCompany.com. So if you have a big dog, they're sewn. Usually this ring is back here. Let's see if I can do this right. Yeah, usually the ring is back here. But that means it's sewn in or riveted in between this. So if you have a big dog, he can eventually tear that stitching loose. But when it's here, when it's in the front like this, my dad designed these, and you take the collar through there like that, he has to tear through the leather twice to get out of his collar. Now, most likely, if the ring's back here, the dog's not going to get out of it. It's going to be sewn tight enough. The dog will probably never get out of it. It's not, at least before you catch it. But yeah, twice. So this ring is in here. Then if that would bust, then he still has to go through this leather. It's not going to happen. These will last forever if he doesn't chew through them or you lose them. Thank you, Tara. Yep, the AmishPotatoCompany.com. So that, and then belts. The belts will last you forever. 4 different colors, I believe. Different belt color, buckle colors. But yeah, rich brown. That's the crazy horse. And there's a dark brown. I need to get these listed. These are semi-made so I could take pictures, but they're new. Nobody has ordered this size in them. And I do have spices. No, I don't have them out here, but there are spices available too, made by an Amish person, Weaver Spices. Trooper, do you want out? But a lot of Amish people use. You can get them cheaper at E&S if you want to brave the crowds. It's much easier just ordering them. So yeah, name the colors. They're in the description in the pictures, but yeah, so this is dark brown. And then this it's actually rich brown. I have it labeled as chestnut. I need to change that on the website. And then the different buckle colors, you can get black. There's a antique copper. Right there's antique copper. For focus. Not gonna focus. Okay, there we go. Oh, come on. Silver, antique silver. Black. And then do I have a black one out here? Here's a black belt. These are all genuine leather. This stuff, these belts they'll stretch a little bit and stuff like that, but they'll last you forever. Like this is harness leather. This is the stuff they use to make buggy harnesses and workhorse harnesses. My dad makes them, Tara. I don't make them, but my dad does. I just helped kind of pick out some buckle styles and stuff like that. But my dad has a harness shop. I have a video online that shows a little bit of it. My dad has a harness shop that, he makes buggy harnesses and stuff like that. And so I got him to make some belts. Yeah, so she says that, Tara says the Walmart belts are awful. I'm getting one for Mike. Yeah, they're not cheap, but you won't have to buy another one for a long time. The only reason you would have to buy another one is because you grew or lost weight, but even if you lost weight, you just punch more holes. Or sometimes I'll just take a drill bit and drill more holes. But, or if you're using one like I have one that I use for work where I put hang tool belts on and stuff like that. And then they get scratched up. So now it's not as pretty. So I have another one that I wear for church. But yeah, you'll never, you're going to die before the belt does. If you're 40. So I don't really make any money off of them. Maybe $1 or $2 for my time of packaging and shipping them, but I'm doing it mostly just for my dad. He's at home right now. I think he's full time at home. Yeah. Sometimes he's busy. Sometimes he's not so busy, which is okay. But I'll bury Mike in if he goes before me. Perfect. I'll even send a new one for you if that's the case. I should give you one for free. But because yeah, you've helped my channel quite a bit. I've been slacking. Have you noticed lately? No videos coming out. I just life. It's busy. I got to get things sorted out with life. Somehow I got to find more time for YouTube. I'm just getting burned out. Jobs, YouTube, family. Maybe we need to move back to Idaho. Get away from family. But yeah, so my dad, he's been a harness maker for a while. He made quite a few harnesses for those big 6-horse hitches as well, the show harnesses. You know, I don't know if you guys ever seen those, but if there's ever a 6-horse draft, a draft horse hitch show come into town, go check it out. It's kind of cool. It's some big horses, teams of 6. You know, kind of like the Budweiser wagon. It was cool. I was going to keep my eye open for one coming up and see if I can't take Miranda. Living on a dime. Tara says, YouTube will suck the life out of you. Ask me how I know. Yep, I believe you. I believe you. It's crazy. It's, you know, it's probably if you're at 2 million subscribers, I don't know, you know, even then, like you got to have edgy, catchy content, I think, to get all the views, because even Wrangler Star, he struggles on some of his videos. People just don't watch him. So yeah, it's not. Seems like they keep taking. You know, from what I hear, they keep taking pay away from content creators more and more. They get paid less and less. It just makes it hard, you know. But Peter, like people like Peter Santinelli, I'm sure he does all right. I'm sure he does. Wrangler Star does good, but yeah, it takes a long time. You gotta have a niche or something. The talent, whatever it is, you know, to just, if you had more time, if you just had more time, if you could start doing YouTube and not work at all, you might have a better shot. But it takes a lot of time. You can make great money, but you have to have great content, which is not easy. Yeah, exactly. You know, and I've thought, you know, Amish, doing the Amish thing is not, like, it's hard because they don't want to be on camera. I wish I could just go interview a bunch. Maybe I should just try that. Go to different communities and just interview, try to talk to them while I'm wearing a camera. But to me, that seems like I'm invading people's privacy. And I have a conscience, and it bugs me, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. You know, I don't even do that much, and it's still a lot. It still takes up a lot of time. You know, I do an hour live stream that's an hour plus. I spent an hour earlier doing the thumbnail and putting some videos together, plus a half hour to set up, tear up the. It's not even really set up. You can see all my trash in the background. And then afterwards, another half hour taking it down and doing what I need to do online. And yeah, you gotta. It takes a lot of time. Talk about peeing in the more. Yeah, I know pee. That got a lot of people's attention quick. Just talk about peeing in the videos more. You know, I keep watching people. I mean, it's not like a huge thing, but people are interested in cheaper ways of doing things, and like they, you know, if they're the cheap, lightweight way to build a boat or whatever it is, you know, they watch it. It gets like a lot of views, or just building primitives. I don't know. It's just weird what people watch, but I've wondered if I built a house by hand, like the old school Amish do, if that would be, if people would catch on to that. Like I'm talking everything by hand to see how much money you can save. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that would be good content or not. I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to, do it just because it would, dude, it would suck. It would suck. It would suck digging a foundation by hand. I probably wouldn't do a basement, but you still got to dig 3 feet here to get the foundation. Yeah, Tara, it's Tara, it's the problem is not getting land. So the problem is selling this house and buying a piece of land to do it on. Then we don't know where we're going to live. But we might go for it. We might try to put ourselves in a position that we can do that. And then just, start digging by hand, start pouring concrete by hand, start cutting wood by hand, start hammering it in by hand. I'm guessing, oh, there you good title ideas. But it'd be hard work and it might get monotonous, but I'm kind of eager, chomping at the bit to do something like that. I am sick and tired. I'm kind of burned out, to be honest. I am sick and tired of everything. Just, I want to enjoy the simple things again. I'm missing my Amish roots. It was, we got bored quite a bit as kids, but it was because we didn't have a farm, so we weren't working all the time. But I want to be so bored again that I can read a book. And building a house, definitely I will not be bored. But building a house, I'll be laboring. It's going to take a lot longer cutting wood by hand. I would love the physical part of it. I dug 2 holes the other week, and it sucked. Some guy hired me to dig 2 6-foot deep holes next to his basement wall so he could seal it. It absolutely sucked, but it was fun at the same time. I was sore the next day. I felt like I actually did something. So yeah, that's a good idea. Living on a dime to go rich. Do a channel where you live like the Amish, even though you aren't. I would, yeah, I'm all in. I'll even dress the part. The hard part is my wife. Do I drag her through it? Because if we live like the Amish, she's washing clothes by hand and hanging them by hand. All this different stuff. I think it'd be good for all of us. It's just I don't know that I can force her to do that. I could try, but is that not overstepping my leadership powers? I don't like calling it powers. But yeah, yeah, she would have to be willing to do it. That's what would make it crazy. I know, and she might be. We watched Pioneer Quest, and she was excited. She was like, "Oh, let's do that for a year." Like, let's do it. I'm in. But when it actually came down to it, it's not. The lifestyle of an Amish woman it takes a lot to be content. I mean, it's a lot. It's a huge change for. I think men could be Amish easier than women. I think it's just there would be a bigger change there. Because Amish women really don't have that much freedom. They're not slaves by any means, but their responsibility at home is so big. Yeah. I gotta remember all these titles. We gotta go for it. We just gotta find a piece of property and do it. I don't know. Is it? I would love to do it. I wonder how much it would cost. We don't want a big house, just a small one. But yeah, I wonder how much it would cost. Because if you can dig my thought here is if you hire an excavator out to dig your house foundation, to level the ground, you know, a couple $1,000 minimum, because they're paying for their time driving there, their fuel, the excavator cost, the truck cost, all that. If you can dig it by hand, especially if you had friends, you can do it for the price of a few shovels and a wheelbarrow. But just, it'll take a lot longer. But the cost is literally the wheelbarrow, shovel, and food, right? Because that's the only energy source you have. And then maybe, yeah. I don't know, should we be allowed to cuss while digging the hole when we hit all the rocks? And once that's done, you know, then comes the pouring, you know, setting the forms is easily doable by hand. You just cut the wood by hand and you hammer it together. So remember those shows where people went from being normal to living as pioneers? Exactly. The transfer, what I'm after, what I really want to show everybody is the transformation. The transformation that happened, that Pioneer Quest. Go watch that series. I'll never forget the young couple, the guy. He was they did really good. He was talking about, like, yeah, we're out here working the land, and everything we do is directly beneficial to us. It's directly beneficial to us. Whereas when I worked at a job, I was a machinist. He went worked for somebody. Yes, he got a paycheck, but the work was done for somebody else. But now, when back in this little adventure they went on for a year, when he built a fence, it directly made his life much easier. When he built a barn, it made his life much easier. His livestock's life much easier. When he built a house and put a stove in it, benefits directly. You know, going from a tent to that. And I've noticed that here, you know, if you have a day off or two and you just get the tools out and I set up a nice little campfire area. Nothing fancy. I just had some scrap lumber I used. You can make things really nice and pretty just by your labor, which is the only cost for your labor is the food you put in your mouth. And living on a dime to grow rich knows a lot about how you save money doing that. Yep. So I dream about that someday. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. We'll see. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think on that. Daniel says you could charge visitors like an Amish boot camp. There we go. Charge people to come help me build like the Amish, right? I'll show you how to cut some wood for me today if you give me $50 a day. That's probably not what you were thinking, but that's where I'm headed with it. Build a cottage, visits to the cottage are Amish, everything only, including visitors. You know, I've thought of that. I don't know why somebody doesn't do that. Would people be willing, if there was an Airbnb in Amish communities, set up like an Amish house, no electricity, no Wi-Fi, nothing. You ditch the cell phone. You ditch the cell phone when you get there. Would people do it? Would people pay for that? Like, you literally hand in your cell phone when you arrive. You get the house to stay in an Amish house, maybe even a farm that you can go help on. Would people pay for that? The problem usually is that the Amish people would be just drained, constantly entertaining different folks. It'd have to be a full-time job for them. So it'd be interesting, yeah. And then another problem is if you buy an Amish house to do an Airbnb or something like that, they're not cheap around here. They're expensive. They're expensive. That's the hard part, is entertaining people. Yeah, yeah. Like it would get exhausting constantly. Say you live on a dairy farm. I think there is one in Shipshewana that kind of does something like that. You live on a dairy farm, you're milking cows, and you constantly have outsiders coming in, asking questions, wanting to watch, wanting to help. You got to teach them. Um, it would be exhausting. Maybe unless you're an extrovert. So, my wife would. Yeah, I think it'd be good for everybody. I think it's a good idea. I really think it is a good idea. But how would you handle that? Like, how would you take their cell phones? That would have to be in an understanding, because you can't live like the Amish with a cell phone. But another thing is, though, you can't really have the full Amish experience if you're an outsider and you just come for say a week. Like, because a huge part of the Amish life is the community. They use other people in the community for entertainment. They'll get together, they'll play cards, they'll do all that stuff. Have dinners, ice cream suppers, and stuff together. If you're an outsider and for a week, that's not going to happen. So, yeah, be interesting if somebody could come up with some kind of experience like that. Because maybe we just do that and make them do the work for us. Like, okay, Billy and Joanne show up with their kids, and Billy, you're going to go help milk the cows. We'll wake you up at 4 in the morning. And then Joanne, you're getting up at 4 in the morning. You're going to start the wash and then make some breakfast for your husband and whoever else is out there. And we're going to have breakfast at 6, and then we're going to go about our normal farm chores. Harvesting and plowing and all that stuff. Is that something people would do? Get your you get your hay and dairy labor for free. It'd be exhausting. Anyway, I should probably go. I've been on here for about an hour already, so I wasn't going to be on here for longer. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see. If I can find a piece of property somewhere, I'd be gung-ho for building. We need to win the lottery. I got to start playing the lottery maybe to win, so I have the cash to do it. Could my wife and daughter live in a tent while I build a house? What if we run out of money? As long as we're dried in. Interesting thoughts. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Hit that like button. Thanks, Tara, for shouting out and sharing that link. I should have been ready for that. I am horrible with this store thing, as you may have noticed. But yeah, get your belts, your genuine leather, Amish-made leather belts, dog collars, and seasonings on the AmishPotatoCompany.com, along with a non-Amish-made hat, but it's got the logo on it. All right. Thank you, Living on a Dime. You also get a free Amish peanut butter recipe with it. Usually I'll stick one of those in just for fun. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Order one. I should give you one for free. I can give you one for free. I don't know how to. You'll just have to email me your size. Email me if you don't want to buy one, just email me your size. The Amish potato one. I'm talking to Tara because she helped me. Everybody else has to buy it. You'll buy it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. We'll see you guys next week. This is the Amish Potato. I'm CJ. And here we go with the awkward removal of the chat. Yes.